During the offseason, the Spurs made no big moves in free agency, but one veteran player will make all the difference for San Antonio this season: Chris Paul. Because he changes everything for the San Antonio Spurs. While it might not seem like a major signing, it is clear why the Spurs brought him in, to help unlock Victor Wembanyama's full potential.
Chris Paul to Wemby, the first one, plus a foul.
Yeah, it was just a simple alley-oop, but those are exactly the kinds of passes the Spurs need for Wemby, an easy 2 points plus the foul. It's something the Spurs' other guards didn't do much of last season. He is what people call a true floor general. He's tricky to understand because he's so good, yet he's only 6 feet tall and weighs about 180. Definitely not what you expect for an NBA player, but what makes him unique is his amazing set of skills that help him succeed on the court. Can Chris Paul turn the Spurs into a playoff contender? The Spurs' winning percentage should improve with Chris Paul on the team. He has a special way of making any team he joins better. We'll go over his track record in a second, but there is a reason people often call him the point god, because of his skills, and it's not just about what he can do on the court. Wherever Chris Paul has played, he has always made his teams better. Cp3 is undoubtedly the point god, but his days of playing starter level minutes are behind him. He'll most likely lean more towards the latter, where we see a slight boost in wins, but a significant impact on mentoring the team's point guards as that veteran presence and unleashing Wemby to a whole new level this season. Back in the day, Cp3 on the Hornets was a game changer, turning big men into stars. He elevated the whole team, especially David West and Tyson Chandler. With his skills and high basketball IQ, West became a scoring beast with those perfect passes, and Chandler dominated the paint, catching lobs and easy buckets.
Paul with a beautiful feed.
Their pick and roll was lethal, with Cp3 slicing through defenses and setting up his teammates perfectly. Their pick and pop even deadlier. The Hornets went from a 22% winning percentage before Chris arrived to a solid 46.3% after just one season. Cp3 truly put New Orleans on the map, making them an exciting up-and-coming team and definitely must-see TV. Now, if that was must-see TV, what do we call the Clippers? In 2011, after his 6 years with the Hornets, the point god made some serious noise with the Clippers. Who could forget Lob City? Cp3's vision set up Blake for highlight dunks, turning their pick and rolls into magic. Defenders had to pick, stop Cp3 or let Blake fly. With Chris Paul leading, Blake stepped up his defense and decision making. The result? The Clippers went from a 39% win rate to 60.6% in just one season, making them a must-watch and putting Blake in the spotlight. But then, Chris Paul was traded. The Clippers just couldn't get over the hump with Hall of Fame coach Doc Rivers. So in 2017, he was shipped to the Houston Rockets, where he teamed up with James Harden to create an exciting backcourt duo.
But I am going to stick by what I just told you. Houston will be a little worse with CP3 than it was last year without CP3.
So no third seed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Again, I need to see the end of free agency and see how everything shakes out. But remember, Houston was the surprise of the NBA last year. 55 wins to San Antonio's 61 and Golden State's 67. And all of a sudden, James Harden is about to become the NBA's unhappiest and most frustrated player because basically he just got demoted.
Chris Paul took Houston to another level, bringing his playmaking in that winning vibe. The Rockets went from a 67% win rate to 79% in just one season with him. They were literally one Chris Paul hamstring away from beating KD and the Steph Warriors into making the 2018 finals. But remember Chris Paul's history with big men? Well, his playmaking ability made countless easy baskets for Clint Capella, primarily through their deadly pick and roll. He made Capella look like an all-star, averaging 15 points, 11 boards, and 1.6 blocks in 103 games with Chris Paul as his point guard. Capella had to be on cloud 9 with James Harden and Chris Paul until another trade. After his time with the Rockets, Chris Paul found himself traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2019.
Russell Westbrook is headed to the Houston Rockets in exchange for Chris Paul and a boatload of draft picks. Rockets GM Daryl Morey making a big-time move to reunite their two former teammates. the former MVPs, 2 seasons ago and 3 seasons ago, in Russell Westbrook, in James Harden, to form potentially one of the most dynamic scoring duos the NBA has ever seen.
Everyone thought the Thunder were in rebuild mode, but Chris Paul had other ideas. He took on the challenge and showed he could still lead and make a difference. And guess what? The Thunder totally surprised everyone by making the playoffs in the bubble, proving that they had some serious resilience and talent. Chris Paul brought the Thunder in OKC, storming to a 61% win rate that season. His leadership didn't just lift the team, it also helped young stars like SGA really shine. Shea even gives Chris props for helping him grow as a player, which just shows how much of a positive impact Chris Paul had in OKC. However, after just 1 season in Oklahoma, Chris Paul was moved again, this time to the Phoenix Suns.
The big one, Chris Paul is headed to the Phoenix Suns. He'll go in a multi-player deal from Oklahoma City. And now the Suns and Robert Sarver in the Western Conference, they become a real factor in this Western Conference race. Devin Booker very much wanted Chris Paul in this trade and really pushed the organization.
During his 3 years with the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul really took the team to another level, making them a serious contender and bringing them oh so close to their first championship. They went from a 47% win rate to a scorching 71% with Chris Paul running the show, and they had all the right pieces to really shine for a championship. Man, the happiest guy on the Suns gotta be Devin Booker. I mean, sure, dropping 70 points in a game is cool and all, but let's be real. The dude was probably more famous for dating Kendall Jenner than anything else. But hey, now with Chris Paul running the show, Book finally had a real highlight in his career, having someone else to do all the thinking for him. Speaking of Chris Paul, you know how he works his magic with big guys, right? He turned DeAndre Ayton into a near all-star, and it didn't stop there. He made dudes like Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges, guys you'd usually forget in a lineup, look like stars. They went from barely winning games to fighting for the finals. Like seriously, how did Chris Paul turn this squad into finals contenders against the Bucks? And just when it looked like the Suns were about to write a fairy tale ending, they were up 2-0 in the finals. Everyone thought it was a wrap. Suns in 4, easy. But then bam, heartbreak. They collapsed harder than Devin's relationship with Kendall, handing the trophy to Giannis and the Bucks on a silver platter. And a couple years after that brutal finals loss, another trade. This time to the Golden State Warriors, to get rid of this guy. There was a lot of head scratching on this trade. Like, how will they make this work with Steph and an aging Chris Paul? Well, the Warriors had something else in mind, using Chris Paul to help elevate and unlock Jonathan Kuminga. Even Draymond was hopeful of this.
People didn't know what what DeAndre Ayton was going to turn out to be, and then CP went there, and all of a sudden DeAndre Ayton became an all-star level player. Right. And so I think what he will do for Jonathan Kuminga and unlocking Kuminga is huge. Absolutely huge. And I look forward to learning that from him. He's always been incredible at mentoring young guys.
Ever since that Chris Paul trade went down, Warriors fans have been hyped about what this means for Jonathan Kuminga. And honestly, why not? Paul's got that rep of being tough on his guys, but he also knows how to make young players ball out. Look what he did for Mikal Bridges in Phoenix. Kuminga's got a similar vibe, so you know the potential is there. With Chris Paul showing him the ropes, this might be Kuminga's breakout season.
Early in the season, I bet JK probably hated us because we was on him all the time. But it's because we see so much in him and the energy he brings with our team.
We thought if Chris Paul could light a fire under Kuminga and get that breakout season out of him, it could be a game changer for the Warriors' potential title run. Not only would it boost their chances, but it would also give them a solid piece for the future when the big three, Draymond, Steph, and Clay, eventually rode off in the sunset. But then, injuries hit the team hard last season, totally messing with their chemistry and continuity on the court. It's like they couldn't catch a break, and that just made it tougher for everyone to gel. As the season rolled on, it became pretty obvious that trying to fit Chris Paul's style into the Warriors system was a bit trickier than anyone thought. His need for the ball clashed with the Warriors' movement-heavy offense, which thrives on quick passes and spacing. That combo led to some inconsistent performances and a little frustration among the players. In the end, the Warriors got knocked out of the playoffs, falling short of those championship dreams. After that rough season, the team opted opted for a fresh start, which meant saying goodbye to Chris Paul. And there was so much hype when he joined, but things just didn't click, leaving fans wondering what could have been. Now, with Chris nearing the end of his career, the big question hanging in the air: what is next for him? For the first time in 14 years, Chris Paul found himself watching the playoffs from the sidelines. A tough wake-up call that proves how fast things can shift in the league. Since his days with the Hornets back in 2010, Chris Paul has been a wizard at elevating big men's games. Now, Chris Paul has found his new partner, young, athletic, and overflowing with untapped potential. As Chris Paul joins the Spurs, the question on everyone's mind: how crucial is Chris Paul to Wemby's development? After finishing dead last 2 years ago and landing 14th place last season, there is a strong belief that the point guard can turn things around. With Chris Paul at the helm, it's all about getting his squad back on track and ready to make some noise in the Western Conference. How many games can the Spurs win now that they have Chris Paul as their captain? Just one day after Chris Paul signed, the Spurs made waves again by adding veteran forward Harrison Barnes to the mix. That's a big boost. Barnes brings experience and a winning mentality, which will be super valuable for this young Spurs squad. And don't sleep on rookie Stephon Castle. He's got the chance to soak up all that knowledge from a legendary playmaker like Chris Paul. Playing alongside Chris Paul is going to be a game changer for Castle's development. He's about to get some serious hands-on experience from one of the best point guards in the game. Chris Paul has still got it. His basketball IQ is off the charts, and he can elevate the whole squad, especially the younger guys. If he stays healthy, he will be the perfect mentor for Castle, showing him the ropes on how to be a top-tier point guard in the league. It's like having a cheat sheet for success. The Spurs are in a sweet spot to make some noise this season. With Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, and Castle in the mix, they have a nice blend of experience and youth. NBA fans are buzzing to see this electric 1-2 punch of Chris Paul and Wemby. With the genius Greg Popovich coaching from the sidelines, you just know this is gonna be something special. Pop has been through it all, from championship runs to tough seasons. But now he is on a mission to bring the Spurs back to glory. He's gonna build the team around Wemby and make sure they are competitive again. It's like watching a chef whip up a winning dish. Can't wait to see what he cooks up. This was one of the best moves of the offseason. It gives Wemby an all-time table setter and creates an awesome soundboard for Stephon Castle's development. So, what kind of stats should we expect from Chris Paul this season? Can he snag another double-double with a cheat code like Wemby by his side? And will he ride it out with the Spurs, or could he become a trade piece at the deadline? Having Chris Paul around to mentor the young guys is just the cherry on top. With the point guard running the show and an alien talent like Wemby alongside him, that is a dream combo. Can't wait to see how this duo lights up the court and brings the Spurs back into the spotlight. With this pair leading the charge, the Spurs are set for a serious comeback. Let us know in the comments and watch one of these videos next. Listen to The Wrong Opinion, useless NBA trivia, and garbage rankings for more NBA content.